This country is not just beautiful, it also makes people feel welcome the moment they arrive. Ireland is often described as one of the friendliest places on earth, but it is also packed with dramatic coastlines, colorful towns, and landscapes that feel almost unreal. So today, the journey moves across Ireland to see what it truly has to offer, and to find out if this could be the world's most friendly country. Dublin is often the first stop, and it makes a strong first impression. The city feels compact yet full of character. Historic buildings stand beside modern shops. Cobblestone streets lead into wide, open squares. There's always something happening, but it never feels overwhelming. Trinity College sits right in the center. Its old stone buildings and quiet courtyards create a calm space in the middle of the city. Inside, the long-room library stretches out with dark wooden shelves and arched ceilings. Just a short walk away, Dublin Castle and St. Patrick's Cathedral add even more layers of history. Along Grafton Street, the atmosphere feels lively and creative. Street musicians perform for small crowds. Shop windows reflect the movement of the city. Then there is the River Liffey, cutting through the heart of Dublin. Walk along its banks, and the city opens up in a different way, with bridges connecting both sides like quiet landmarks of their own. As the sun sets, the lights begin to glow across Temple Bar and the surrounding streets. Dublin manages to feel historic and young at the same time. It is a capital city that feels personal, easy to explore, and full of detail. On the west coast, the Cliffs of Moher rise straight from the Atlantic Ocean. The first glimpse is hard to forget. The land suddenly drops into open air, and the sea stretches endlessly into the distance. The cliffs run for several miles, forming one of the most dramatic coastlines in Europe. On clear days, the Aran Islands appear on the horizon. On misty days, the cliffs feel even more mysterious. Walking along the edge, the scale becomes clear. The cliffs tower high above the water, shaped by centuries of wind and waves. Seabirds circle the rock faces, adding movement to the scene. Nearby, small villages and green fields soften the dramatic landscape. Stone walls divide the land into neat sections. The contrast between the peaceful countryside and the roaring ocean creates something unforgettable. The Cliffs of Moher are not just a viewpoint. They are a reminder of how raw and beautiful this country can be. Further south, Cork offers a different kind of beauty. Built around the River Lee, the city feels lively yet relaxed. Streets curve gently, and colorful buildings line the water. The English market stands at the center of daily life. Inside, stalls are filled with fresh produce, seafood, and local specialties. Climb up to St. Finbarr's Cathedral, and the view opens up across Cork's rooftops. The cathedral's detailed stonework and tall spires give the skyline a distinct look. Just outside the city, the coastline begins to unfold. Small fishing towns, sandy beaches, and quiet coves stretch along the southern edge. Cork balances city life with access to nature. From riverside walks to coastal drives, the beauty here is subtle but strong. Galway sits on the edge of the Atlantic and feels deeply connected to it. The city is smaller than Dublin, but its personality is just as strong. Brightly painted buildings line the streets. Narrow lanes lead to open squares where people gather. Eyre Square acts as the heart of the city. From there, it is easy to reach the Spanish Arch and the waterfront. The sea air is always present. Fishing boats move slowly in the harbor. Galway is also a gateway to Connemara, one of the most striking regions in Ireland. Just outside the city, the landscape turns rugged. Mountains rise above wide valleys. Lakes reflect the sky. The roads feel open and endless. Back in the city center, the energy remains strong. Music flows from doorways. Small shops and cafes create a welcoming atmosphere. Galway feels colorful and close to nature at the same time. It is easy to see why so many travelers choose to stay longer than planned. Killarney is where nature truly takes over. Surrounded by mountains and lakes, it feels like stepping into a postcard. Killarney National Park spreads out with forests, waterfalls, and quiet walking paths. Muckross House sits beside one of the park's lakes, framed by gardens and distant hills. It adds history to the landscape without taking away from the natural beauty. Tork Waterfall flows steadily through the trees, creating a peaceful stop along the way. The nearby Ring of Kerry is one of the most famous drives in the country. The road winds past cliffs, beaches, and small villages. Every turn reveals something new. Sheep graze on green hills. The ocean appears suddenly on the horizon. Killarney town itself feels charming and compact. Streets are lined with traditional buildings, and the mountains rise in the background. It feels like the perfect base for exploring the southwest. Further along the southwest coast lies Dingle, a small harbour town that feels both remote and full of life. The first thing that stands out is the color. Bright blue, red, and yellow buildings line the main street. Fishing boats rest quietly in the marina. Beyond them, the Atlantic stretches wide and open. The Dingle Peninsula is one of the most scenic regions in the country. Narrow roads wind along the coastline, revealing cliffs, sandy beaches, and wide ocean views. In town, the scale is small but full of character. Shops display handmade crafts and local art. Traditional pubs anchor the corners with wooden doors and glowing windows in the evening light. What makes Dingle special is the balance between nature and culture. Ancient stone structures sit on wind-swept hills overlooking the sea. Irish language signs appear alongside English. It feels rooted in tradition, yet open and easy to explore. The scenery feels bold, but the town itself feels simple and grounded. In the far northwest, Donegal offers some of the most dramatic landscapes in the country. This region feels wild and wide open. The coastline is rough and powerful, shaped by wind and waves over centuries. Slieve League cliffs rise sharply above the Atlantic, even higher than the Cliffs of Moher. Standing at the edge, the ocean feels endless. The drop below is steep and striking. On clear days, the horizon blends almost seamlessly with the sky. Donegal's beaches are long and quiet. Golden sand stretches for miles with very few footprints. The surrounding hills roll gently inland, creating a soft contrast to the dramatic coast. Roads feel empty and open, perfect for slow drives through changing scenery. Donegal town itself is compact and traditional. Stone buildings and small streets create a cozy center. Donegal Castle stands near the river, adding a historic touch to the setting. This region shows a different side of Ireland. It feels less polished, more rugged. The landscape speaks clearly on its own. Moving back inland, Kilkenny feels like stepping into another time. The town is known for its medieval streets and strong sense of history. Narrow lanes lead toward Kilkenny Castle, which sits proudly beside the River Nore. The castle grounds are wide and green, perfect for slow walks. The structure itself feels elegant, with tall windows and strong stone walls. It dominates the skyline without feeling overwhelming. Around it, the town unfolds in layers of old buildings and small squares. Kilkenny is also known for its craft and design scene. Workshops and galleries fill the historic streets. Old stone buildings now hold modern creativity. It creates an interesting contrast between past and present. St. Canice's Cathedral adds another dramatic element to the town. Climbing the round tower reveals a wide view over rooftops and countryside beyond. The beauty here feels structured and detailed. It is not about wide coastlines or high cliffs. It is about preserved streets, historic architecture, and a strong sense of identity. Just south of Dublin, the Wicklow Mountains open up into rolling hills and deep valleys. This region feels peaceful and wide. The roads curve gently through forests and open land. Sheep graze quietly on the hillsides. Lakes reflect the sky like mirrors. Glendalough sits at the heart of this landscape. Ancient monastic ruins stand beside two calm lakes. Stone towers and weathered walls tell stories from centuries ago. The setting feels calm and balanced. History blends naturally with the surrounding nature. The Wicklow Mountains show a quieter beauty. It is less dramatic than the Cliffs of the West, but no less powerful. The open space feels refreshing. The silence feels real. It is a reminder that nature here is never far away, even close to the capital. Out in the Atlantic, the Aran Islands feel like another world entirely. Reached by ferry from the west coast, they rise from the sea as low, rocky landscapes divided by endless stone walls. On Moher, the largest island, narrow roads lead past small houses and open fields. The ocean is always visible somewhere on the horizon. Ancient stone walls stretch across the cliffs, built centuries ago and still standing against the wind and sea. These structures have faced countless storms and remain a powerful reminder of the island's past. The islands move at a slower pace. Narrow roads stay quiet throughout the day. The wind moves steadily across the open land. There is very little distraction, just land, sea, and sky. And that wraps up this adventure through Ireland. From dramatic cliffs to colorful cities and endless green landscapes, it is easy to see why this country leaves such a strong impression. The beauty is real, the atmosphere feels genuine, and the experience stays long after the trip ends. If this video sparked inspiration, make sure to like and subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know which destination we should do next.